Welcome to Archetypes of the East. Today we're looking at Hexagram 36, Darkening of the Light, Wounding of the Bright. A foreboding period signified by dark or inferior forces that obscure, suppress, or harm goodness and virtue. The oracle is advising discretion and that enduring the current hardships will preserve one's inner light. This is a season where truth, virtuous principles, and clarity are attacked by hostile, inferior, or ignorant forces. A time of adversity that calls for the seeker to exercise extreme caution, hiding one's light and avoiding direct combat with dark forces. The I Ching urges one to remain humble and plan a strategic retreat to remain undetected. The principle of this hexagram is the hidden spark. Hexagram 36 represents intelligence in hiding. The structure is earth over fire. This is the image of the sun literally buried inside the earth. This is the strategy of the veiled mind. Unlike Hexagram 35, where you were encouraged to shine, here you are encouraged to dim your light, to avoid being extinguished by a hostile environment or influences. This is about strategic invisibility. In this season, your excellence is a target. If you appear too smart, too moral, or too successful, the inferior forces will try to suppress or harm you. This is the strategy of the wise fool. You keep your clarity sharp on the inside, but you appear simple, quiet, or even ignorant on the outside to stay under the radar. This is about preservation over victory. Enduring current hardships will preserve one's inner light. This is not the time to fight for the truth or stand your ground in public. Direct combat with dark forces right now is a suicide mission. Your only objective is survival. You are a gardener protecting a rare seedling through a long, harsh winter. Keep it covered until the season changes. This is about making a cloaked retreat. In career, this is the gray rock method. If you are in a toxic workplace, do your job well, but don't draw attention to your innovations or your superior ethics. In relationships, this is the reticence. Protect your inner world from those who would judge or misuse it. Don't give the darkness anything to grab onto. The key or energy of this hexagram is cold, constricted, and guarded. It feels like walking on eggshells. There's a sense of censorship in the air, both external and from others, and internally as a survival mechanism. Since you can't act outwardly, all of your energy must go into maintaining your inner flame. The image of Hexagram 36 states, earth over fire. The sun sets upon the face of the earth, the image of the darkening of the light. The superior one lives among the great mass. They veil their light in dark times, yet they still shine within. Just like the setting of the sun, this is a twilight period for the seeker, as the environment becomes negative or even hostile. If truth or virtue is attacked or ridiculed openly, do not abandon your light. Instead, protect it by seeking safety. In this way, your inner goodness and strength remains bright, even if they appear dim to others, allowing you to endure for another day. The judgment of Hexagram 36 states, darkening of the light. When one is in adversity, it furthers one to be internally persevering. This is a call to maintain internal sovereignty. In Hexagram 35, you were the sun above the earth. Now the earth, the collective or the environment, has moved above you. You are in a strategic eclipse. This is the strategy of the deep bunker. When the external environment becomes toxic or ignorant, your external progress halts so that your internal integrity can survive. Do not attempt to be a hero or a martyr. Now is a time for cautious reserve. In a darkened world, a hero is just a target. The I Ching advises against a grandstand. If you shout the truth into a hurricane of lies, you don't stop the storm, you just lose your voice. True perseverance here means keeping your standards high in private while appearing common in public. Maintain your morals while conforming outwardly. This is the most difficult line to walk. You must look like a team player in a broken system to avoid the predators, but you must never let the system's rot enter your soul. Your inner light is kind of like a secret 401k. Don't spend it on people who won't appreciate it. This is about having selective privacy. In career, this is the stealth mode. Do the work, hit the metrics, but keep your innovations and your next moves to yourself. In relationships, this is the information dieting. If a group has become noxious, stop sharing your heart. Withdraw from the investment. You are protecting the light and not hiding it out of shame. This is about tactical silence. It's the employee who survives a night of the long knives layoff by being indispensable but invisible. The I Ching says, the sun hasn't died, it's just on the other side of the world right now. You're currently in the night phase of your cycle. Don't fight the dark, just don't let it in. Keep your flame small, steady, and hidden. Survival is your greatest victory right now. A changing line 1. Darkening of the light during one's flight to escape. One lowers their wings discreetly as the beasts of the night approach. The superior one must sacrifice comfort and sustenance as they wander from the encroaching trouble, like a Taoist monk commences a fast and does not eat for 3 days. It furthers one to have a plan, goal, or a destination. The host speaks dark things against them. This line is recommending immediate severance. Line 1 is the moment that you realize the sun has gone down and the beasts are out. This is the strategy of the emergency exit. You're still in flight, trying to achieve things, but you must lower your wings. Stop trying to impress. Stop trying to fly high and descend into the shadows to get away. This is the cost of true safety. The 3-day fast mentioned here means that you shouldn't wait for a perfect severance package or a graceful goodbye. If the building is on fire, you don't stop to pack your lunch. Deprivation is a small price to pay for your integrity and your safety. The gossip of the host means prepare to be criticized or misunderstood for your choices. When you leave a toxic situation suddenly, the people that you leave behind, the host, will try to control the narrative. They will call you flaky, unprofessional, or unreliable. Let them. Their gossip is the darkness that you are escaping. If they understood you, you wouldn't need to leave. This is about having a goal-oriented retreat. In career, this is quitting a noxious job even before the next one is perfectly lined up. It's hard, but it prevents soul rot. In relationships, this is the no-contact rule. Move toward your destination. Do not look back at the host who is talking behind your back. This is the line of ghosting the darkness. It's realizing a business deal is dirty and walking away from the money immediately to keep your reputation clean. The I Ching says the danger is real and immediate. Don't worry about saving face or being polite. Lower your profile, take the financial or social hit, and get out. You have somewhere to go, and that somewhere is anywhere but here. A changing line 2. Darkening of the light while being wounded in the left thigh as one escapes. Rescue comes with the strength of a great horse. This brings good fortune. Line 2 is the center of the inner trigram of fire. You've been hit. The darkness has left a mark. In ancient symbolism, a wound to the left thigh represents a blow to your mobility and your ability to stand your ground. This is the strategy of the second wind. This is about having a functional wound. This injury is a warning shot of sorts that wakes you up. Instead of collapsing, you find the strength of a horse. This is animal vitality, a raw, instinctual power that bypasses the sorrow of the previous line. You aren't just escaping. You're moving with a force that can carry others with you. Good fortune here comes through action. Even if the seeker is wounded, they will be aided in their escape. The good fortune doesn't come from the wound, it comes from the reaction to it. If you sit and nurse the injury, the darkness wins. If you use the adrenaline of the moment to make a great leap, you outrun the danger entirely. In career, this is the bad review or the project failure that actually forces you to find a better, more powerful way to work. In relationships, it's the moment a conflict reveals who your true allies are. The wound is the alarm clock that tells you that it's time to run like a horse. This is the line of post-traumatic growth. It's the athlete who gets injured but comes back even faster than they were before, or the professional who gets fired only to start a wildly successful company. The I Ching says, you've been nicked, but you're not down for the count. Use the pain that you feel as fuel. There is a massive reservoir of horsepower available to you right now. Stop looking at the wound and start looking at the horizon. You have the momentum to carry yourself and your team or your endeavor to safety. A changing line 3. Darkening of the light while scouting in an area of high visibility and clarity. A key figure or leader of the opposition is identified and captured. But one should not be too overly perseverant with this victory. This is about precision strikes. Line 3 sits at the top of the inner trigram of fire. You have reached the limit of your inner light and are touching the outer world of darkness. The south here represents the direction of clarity and heat. You aren't just hiding anymore, you are hunting. This is the line of having a sudden breakthrough. You've stumbled upon the root cause of the toxicity, or the chief of the problem. Perhaps you've found the specific error in a system, or a specific person causing a conflict. This is a massive win, but the I Ching warns the capture of the leader does not mean the darkness is gone. The infrastructure of the problem is still in place. Do not be too overly perseverant with this victory. If you try to declare mission accomplished and return to business as usual immediately, you will be ambushed. The darkness is still heavy. You may have removed the head of the problem, but the body of the situation still needs to be navigated with subterfuge and exposure. In career, this is finding the smoking gun, or identifying the person undermining the project. Confront them, but don't expect the company culture to change overnight. In relationships, this is having the big talk where the main issue is finally admitted. You've caught the leader of the problem. Now wait for the dust to settle before moving forward. This is the line of cutting the cord. It's finding the single point of failure and fixing it, but realizing the rest of the machine is still shaky. The I Ching says, you have had a brilliant stroke of luck or insight. You've captured the core of the issue, but don't get cocky. One sunbeam doesn't end the winter. Stay in scout mode and don't push for total reform until the environment is actually ready for the light. A changing line 4. One pierces the left side of the belly, at the source of the wounding of the good. One is in the presence, the very source of the darkening of the light. One departs from their counsel discreetly through the gate in the courtyard. This line is talking about a point of no return. Line 4 is the transition into the outer earth trigram. You are no longer just enduring the darkness, you are in the presence of its very source. To penetrate the belly here means to have seen the hidden intentions, the core of the corruption, or the why behind the toxicity. One is informed of its inner workings, a situation of extreme danger. This isn't just a bad day at the office. This is the moment that you realize the organization's values are fundamentally broken, or the person that you trusted has an ulterior heart. Once you get at the heart, your old life, the gate in the courtyard, is no longer safe or viable. You cannot unknown what you have seen and witnessed. There is a subtext of strategic compliance. Fake loyalty to understand and then depart discreetly. This is the classic spy maneuver. You don't make a scene, you don't start a fight in the inner circle. You pretend to comply just long enough to secure your exit. If you act headstrong now, you will be crushed by the belly of the beast. This is about making a silent departure. In career, this is realizing the company is involved in something unethical. Don't confront the CEO. Quietly find a new job and leave through the courtyard before the scandal breaks. In relationships, this is seeing a partner's true, dark character. Stop trying to fix them. Collect your things and leave while they still think that you're on their side. This is the line of discovering the unbearable truth. It's the realization that the system is rigged from the inside out. The I Ching says, you have reached the core of the problem, and it is darker than you could have ever possibly imagined. Don't try to reform the heart of an enemy. It is a waste of your light. Use your proximity to gather what you need, keep your belly covered, and make a quiet, permanent exit. Your future lies outside of these walls. A changing line 5. Darkening of the light. Follow the example of the historical Prince Qi, where he feigned illness and incapacitation. Perseverance in the midst of great difficulty is advantageous. This line is talking about having inward radiance, but having outward obscurity. Line 5 is the ruler of the hexagram, but it is a yin or yielding line in a position of power. In Hexagram 36, the ruler doesn't lead a charge, they lead a masterclass of survival. Prince Qi survived a literal tyrant by feigning madness and insanity. This is the strategy of the master actor. This is the power of true stealth. It is better to appear out of sorts, inadequate, harmless, or ignorant. In a toxic environment, being the best is a liability. If you're too competent, you're a threat. If you're too moral, you'll be seen as a critic. By playing the fool, you remove yourself from the board entirely. People stop watching you because they think that you're broken or inconsequential. This gives you the freedom to protect your inner light in total privacy. Deep-seated endurance within, while outward withdrawal is the best course of action. This is a difficult psychological split. You must be sharp as a diamond on the inside, while being soft as mud on the outside. Do not let the act become your reality. You're not weak. You're simply wearing weakness as a cloak or a disguise. In career, this is the quiet professional who does exactly what is required and nothing more, avoiding the politics of the inner circle by appearing uninterested or behind the times. In relationships, this is keeping your most ambitious dreams and your deepest values away from those who would mock or stifle them. Let them think that they've won. It is the price of your freedom. This is the line of low-key survival. It's the brilliant mind that stays quiet in a meeting of egos to avoid being assigned a doomed project. The I Ching says, your intelligence is currently your greatest danger. To save your light, you must hide it behind a mask of simplicity. Do not seek to be understood or appreciated right now. The more invisible you are to the darkness, the more invisible you become. Stay lit, but stay quiet. A changing line 6. There is no light within, just absolute darkness. First, the evil one ascended up to the glorious heights of success and heaven, then plunged down into the depths of oblivion deep under the earth. This is the line where darkness finally implodes into the void. Line 6 is the extremity of the hexagram. The darkness, which could be the tyrant, the toxic boss, or the corrupt system, has achieved its goal of total suppression. It has ascended to heaven, meaning its power appears absolute. This is the strategy of the patient witness. You don't need to strike the final blow. The darkness will trip over its own weight. This is the tipping point. The moment darkness has completely taken over is the moment it guarantees its utter ruin. Darkness is a parasite. When it finally succeeds in darkening all the light around it, it loses its host. Without the light, which could be the virtuous people around you, the creators, the truth tellers, to feed on, the evil begins to eat itself. This is the law of diminishing returns. Do not interfere with the fall of darkness. The evil has been defeated by its own hand. At this stage, the most dangerous thing that you can do is get in the way of a collapsing system. Let the plunge happen. If you try to fix or fight it now, you might get pulled down into the depths with it. Stand back and let the gravity of its own mistakes finish the job for you. In career, this is watching a toxic manager finally get caught in their own web of lies. You don't need to report them. Their results will speak for them. In relationships, this is the moment the narcissist or predator has alienated everyone around them and has no one left to manipulate. The game is over. The dawn is inevitable because the night has finally run out of room. This is the line where the bubble finally bursts. It's the moment a scam or a toxic culture hits its peak and then immediately disintegrates. The I Ching says the darkness was never as solid as it looked. It was a hollow shell that grew too big for its own foundation. You have survived the darkening of the light. The plunge that you are witnessing is the clearing of the path. Stay out of the debris zone and the shock wave. The sun is coming back shortly. That concludes Hexagram 36. I hope that you liked the video if you found it helpful in understanding this hexagram. Subscribe to follow the series along, and next we'll look at Hexagram 37, the family, the clan. See you then.